New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents Having Courageous Conversations, where real talk dives deep. Each week we go beyond surface talk. We open our hearts, speak our truths, and dive into the stories that shape us. No scripts, no filters, just powerful, unforgettable conversations about life, purpose, healing, and truth. Join the conversation, because your voice belongs here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel at Having Courageous Conversations or email us at yourshowyourvoice@gmail.com. Now, let's have a courageous conversation.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome. We're so happy you're joining us, whether you're watching us live right now or catching the replay later. Thank you for making the time to be here. This is Having Courageous Conversations, a heartfelt, spirit-led online series where we explore the transformative power of honest dialogue. We believe that when we speak from the heart, listen with compassion, and hold space for one another, we create possibilities for healing, growth, and real connection. I am Cheryl Rogers, and this is my co-host, Mark Dupuis, and she's going to welcome our guest, Jules.
With pleasure, I'll do that, Cheryl. Jules De Jesús Fritz, correct? Is a Cornell-trained wellness coach and the author of Aaaaah Miracles. She surrendered her career as a celebrity makeup artist, oh, that sounds so interesting, to take a deep leap of faith to follow her higher calling. Jules is a co-creator of Miracle Lab with her husband, Josh, where she serves as a spiritual life coach. She empowers clients to embrace their authentic values and worth through coaching sessions and retreats. Jules said that she would like to talk to us today from her heart about belonging, being seen, and how this relates to emotional intelligence and community. Okay, let's just dive in. I don't even know how to ask a question about that thought. Jules, can you start the ball rolling?
Well, thank you for having me. It's so wonderful to be here with you and with your community and to be a part of it. So, the idea of what's on my heart lately, the idea of belonging has been on my heart and being seen. And, there's so many feelings, let's say, right? Like big feelings that we're all feeling, not only in the world around us, but also in the world within us. And so this idea of where do I belong, right? Just kind of feels like a collective question right now. And so I thought this would be a fantastic place to have this conversation.
Are you talking about where you belong in the world or in your career or mind, or when you say belong, where is that located?
That's a great question. And it's almost like I can throw that back to you and say, what does that mean for you? Right? Like what comes up for you? But for me, what that means is where I belong everywhere. Because for me, it's all an integrated process, right? Like it's all about wherever I am, that's where I am, right? Like it's basic. And how I'm showing up. depends on how I feel about where I feel like I belong. So, not only about showing up, but again, being seen. Do I feel safe to be seen here? Do I feel safe to be myself here? Wherever here is. Maybe it's at your job. Maybe it's in your relationship. Maybe it's just out in public and feeling safe enough to be yourself. So what does that mean? So, the idea of belonging, I think is multi-layered. There's so many parts to it, but really it's all connected together.
So I just had a quick thought. Do you think, and do you mind if I talk about you and your family and what you've been doing? Would you mind sharing that? So my thought came to me is that possibly because of the way you guys have been living for the past few months? And I'd love you to tell people all about that, because what an adventure and what courage it takes to do what you guys did. I just love it.
Yeah. So the idea of belonging, I think, can be a part of just my life and how I live. And so last September, it's been a year now, we started traveling full time again. So Josh and I, my husband Josh, and I traveled back in 2017 full time for 2 years in our Airstream camper. So that's when I left my fabulous life as a celebrity makeup artist. It was like, all right, this is cool. And there's got to be more to it than this. And so I took that leap of faith. We sold everything, hit the road in our camper, and loved it. So we're on the road, and my 3-year-old son at the time prays for not only a baby, but 2 babies. 2. Y'all, when that prayer went up, I felt the intention. He was like, dear God, I want 2 babies. Amen. I was like, Julian, wait a minute. So lo and behold, a few weeks later, I am pregnant with twins. Twins do not run in our family. So this is a supernatural event. And I had to find a place to have babies, right? So we found the right place in Georgia and ended up landing on a 25-acre homestead, and it was fantastic, right? So our goal was, we're just going to be here long enough to raise the babies and get back out on the road. Well, a pandemic happened, and we thought, well, I guess we live in the house now for a little bit longer. And I ended up caregiving for my mom and grandmother. So my grandmother was just a month before her 97th birthday. And we got to have the last year of her life. And I took care of her and my mom. And we also got a dual diagnosis of dementia for both of them. And that was a lot, right? So all of a sudden I go from, I'm getting back out on the road to now I am caregiving for 2 ends of the spectrum. I have little ones and I have my grands, right? So we get through, 5 years. And at that point, we start realizing, okay, maybe we can try to travel again, because we really missed it. Everybody felt this desire pulling us forward, like something's calling us. Again, just like when I decided to leave the makeup world and take a leap of faith, it felt like that pull. And we all worked together to, get back on the road. And so that's what we did. And we decided we're just going to take a chance. And it ended up being fantastic. Now, what's interesting about my story is not only that we're traveling as a sandwich caregiving team, right? So sandwich caregivers, I care for young kids and I also care for the elderly. I have my own belonging in that, right? Like I have a group of 6 that fills that camper. And that, I mean, when we roll in, y'all know we roll in deep. I mean, it's like all of a sudden it's a party when we show up, because there's 6 of us, it's like instant good time. And so there's that, but then I'm also going to other communities. So on the road, we're speaking and workshopping. My oldest, Julian, who's now 11, also wrote a book. his book came first, and it's about emotional intelligence as well. So, you know, we're going and we're linking up into these other communities where we feel that we belong, you know. So there's this almost like this common theme to it, if you will, that I had never actually thought about until this question. So I, you know, never even put that all together of it. And I think at the same time, while all of these circles of belonging are happening, I am also within myself being very intentional with belonging to myself too.
Right. Yeah.
Making sure that I stay focused in that, because my sense of self, my connection to a higher power, that belonging is the most important, right? That's what gives me the opportunity and capability to be open enough to be in belonging with others, whether it's with my family, whether it's with you all, wherever I am.
And to be doing what you're doing, right? To have faith and trust.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Do what you're doing.
Exactly.
Beautiful, yeah.
Is it difficult?
Is it difficult?
Is it difficult for you to be the center of you?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Is it difficult? I think that it's the right kind of hard. You know, like it's the right kind of hard. It's the work. It's always a process in making the choice to feel the feelings, because you're a human being, right? Here on this earth, having this experience, and my work while I'm here is to process these feelings and understand what this block is. What is this that's stopping me from feeling the totality of the presence of love that I can always feel, right? So my job is to always make sure that I'm radiating that love. And sometimes it's not so easy because fear comes in and blocks that, right? Those other feelings come in, which they're not bad. They're just feelings, right? They're just information. But the truth of it is, it's remembering that job, remembering that's what I'm here to do, and not get caught up in the external world and what's happening around me. Instead, coming back to that and saying, okay, my commitment is to not leave myself, is to not abandon myself, is to stay here, stay true, stay present. Okay, what do I need right now to do the next thing, the next wise step? What is that?
Yeah. And I think that's everybody's work. Just some of us are more aware of it, right, than others. But I think we all have work to do, and it might not be exactly the same thing. But I really think, like you said, you know, human beings having a spiritual experience, we all have a job.
Yes.
To remember who we are.
That's
right?
why we're here. The joke is like, if I'm still on this earth, I still have work to do. And that is a collective belief I have. We all have work to do while we are here. We forget. We forget it, right? We go into this like temporary amnesia at times. We're like, oh, I thought my job was my work, or whatever the thing is, that's my work. It's like, no, that's not it's to here be in as close of communication as we can possibly be with the divine. And right from that space, then we can move forward and do our work, you know. So my work for a long time was to be a makeup artist, right? And was to be that calm presence with my clients to help them do their big work that they were doing, right? That was what I was being called to do. And through that, I learned a lot. Like through that process, I was able to hone in these different skills, right? And also learn about myself, do my own work. And then that prepared me to the next level. So what you were saying, Cheryl, about, you know, we all have the job, but some of us are more aware of it. I think it just depends on where you are on your journey. You know, not everybody's ready to look at the stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's where free will comes into play, I believe. It's like, you can do whatever you want to do. And you could also, right, no judgment. And there's also, you could do things that could help you to feel better. Are you going to do that? Right. So with my work with emotional intelligence, are you, when you feel a big feeling, are you going to numb it? Or are you going to get curious about it? It's a choice. It's a choice. Am I going to get curious and go, what was that about? Whoa. Or am I going to be like, nope, can't deal. Scroll, or whatever whatever your way of dealing with it is. Right. So it just depends. We all have the choice.
So how do you define emotional intelligence in a way that's practical and relatable for everyday life?
Emotional intelligence, what I love about it, it's considered one of the 7 geniuses, right? So you think of someone being a genius, you think of them being brilliant, so smart, right? Wow. Just, you've got this brain on you. The truth of it is that there are many different geniuses. So you can have these gifts in different ways. And so with emotional intelligence, what I love about it, this is the one that you can really grow. Some people are a genius in their physical abilities, right? Like you have your pro athletes, you have your people that, it's almost like they were built for that, right? Like they were designed, and you think, well, I could probably never compete in the Olympics, maybe. Yeah. Right? So maybe you feel like I was not destined for that. What I love about emotional intelligence is it's like a even playing field, right? Like everybody can make the choice to become that much smarter in understanding what their body is communicating, right? So I also believe that this body is a communication device between me and whatever you call God, right? So the universe is speaking to me. It's using my body to speak to me. I feel the things. So the more in tune I can be with those feelings, oh, I got mad. Oh, why was that? Okay, now I can use my emotional intelligence to sit with that and really discover more about it and get to the deeper part of it. I felt a feeling in my gut that I can't quite explain, but it's telling me that this is not a good situation. That is all intelligence. That's using a balance of our intuition, of our senses, all 6 of our senses, if you will, right? It's allowing ourselves to be open to all of the information that's available to us. That's emotional intelligence.
Wow.
It's interesting. This afternoon, my body was talking to me and I was angry. And I immediately said to Wen, oh, well, no, don't want to be angry. Let's just move on. I shouldn't be feeling that, and I know the should word is not to be used and whatever, but it was. And so what you're just talking about now is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, okay, yes, it's okay. I'm angry and I can be in that anger and tease it out and what's it about? And instead of going, yeah, no, okay, we'll go on to the next step.
Yeah. I love what you just said. Thank you for sharing that because it's so real and relatable. So, you felt angry immediately. Most of us, right? Especially spiritual folk, let's be super honest. Nope, I should be better than that. I shouldn't feel that type of emotion, right? Like I'm better than that. I'm past that. But there's a lot of information there, right? There's a lot of information. If you sit back, and then this points back to belonging, if I can sit with myself and not judge myself and just say, what happened there? Why'd you get mad? What was that about? Right? Again, not judging, just being a friend, being loving, and saying, what happened? What happened? What was that?
Yeah.
Man, that one got you. What was it? you know, and you sit with it and you go, oh, maybe there was a boundary that was crossed that you didn't know was something that needed a boundary. How else would you know unless you got upset? Right? So instead of feeling like I shouldn't, or that's not me, instead that belonging, I believe, is also, you know, holding all those parts of ourselves and saying, okay, what's up?
Yeah.
What's
So
the deeper here?
Yeah. Being curious. That's what you're saying. Being curious and being the observer rather than being the person reacting. Being observed and being curious about the emotion.
Yeah, because in that situation, you're not only the person reacting, you're the person judging. Like, right? You're like, nope, I don't want that. Like, think about like something happens, and then later, I think we can all relate to this. Later, you're like, oh, I can't believe I said that. And you start feeling real cringy about it, whatever, right? Like nobody ever, right? No, yes, all of us. So you're like, or you wake up and you're like, oh, I can't believe, right? And so in those moments, I totally believe that this is my being, right? Looking for me to be there for me and tell me, you know what? That's all right. Oh, yeah, you said that. And you thought that was a good thing to say, or, you know, at that time that made sense. That's what happened. Let's not argue reality. It's going to be okay. It's all right. You know, so it's like developing that type of relationship with ourselves, right? Like on the inside. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like that belonging to myself is the most important belonging that I have, is because I'm the only one who knows I'm feeling that cringiness in that moment, right? Like you're probably not going to tell everybody that. So it's just you and the privacy of your own mind. And so in there, to be able to say, I still love you, and you're still wonderful, and you're still, you know, you're still worthy just as you are. Hey, you know, this is all right. I'm still with you. I'm not leaving. You belong to me and I belong to you. We're here. You know, it's, I think that's, and I feel like if we can really cultivate that relationship with ourselves, then we are more likely and more capable of giving that to others. Right. Because that also sounds like grace. So if I can be more graceful, if I can be more grace-filled with myself, then I can give grace out too. You know, I'm not beating myself up. So that's not my habit, to then not be loving when other people really need the most. So
you are loving and kind to yourself.
Yes. That is a huge part of it. Because there was a time where I wasn't loving and kind to myself, because I believed that to be really like a disciplinarian with myself, like that was better. Like if I could kick my own butt in those moments, then I would learn the lesson. And then also no one could say anything about me that was worse than what I was already telling myself. And I had this like really warped way of looking at it. And then once I started doing this work, I realized that a lot of people feel that way. We feel like, oh, I should be a big bully to myself and not be so kind in those moments. You know, in the moments that we feel like we need more discipline, I venture to say we probably need more love. Almost like 99.9, let's just say 100% of the time, we need more love. We need more love. Like, be sweet to you, you know, like what that thing happened, you felt the thing. Okay. Like, what do you need in that moment? Most likely a kind voice.
So talk kindly to yourself. Whereas we always have these voices in our head that aren't very kind. So it's shifting that to be kind and having that kindness voice inside of us. So you mentioned the work. Until you did the work, what work have you been doing? to move from that to being loving and kind to yourself?
Yeah. So the very first introduction, if you will, to those inner thoughts was when I read Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. Mm-hmm. And it was right after I had Julian. And so I'm a new mom, and I'm trying to figure out how to be a new mom and be all these other facets of myself. And I had this book, I think it was like a Oprah book club kind of a thing. And I bought it, didn't read it, had it for like 3 months. And then one day I was so desperate for just to feel better. Like I was just feeling a lot of things. And I opened this book, and I mean, right away, he goes right for it. And he's like, all about your inner roommate. And I was like, what are we talking about? And it was just so out there, this taboo subject. To me, it felt like that. Like I mean, what are we saying here, Michael Singer? And so I just had to keep reading. And as I kept reading, I was like, oh my gosh. And so the thing is that I tuned in to what I was telling myself in these moments. And then I wasn't, forget proud of myself. It was beyond that. I was then like, oh no, I'm terrible. Like I thought I was a good person. I am like really not nice to me, like yuck. And I had these really big feelings about myself that was opposite of what I was going for. And so that left me in this place of feeling like worse. And I then had to figure out how to love myself through that. Because then I'm like, okay, you feel this, you're thinking this, and you also now have a choice because now you're aware of it. So this is just the junk. Like it's like going into like your junk drawer or that closet you throw everything in, and then you deal with it. And you're like, okay, well, let's sort it out. Let's go. And that's what it felt like. It was like sorting through my mind of, okay, well, that's trash. Oh, that's not even mine. Some family member gave that to me when I was little. I don't want that anymore. You know what I'm talking about? So like you start digging in there, and you're just like, all right, I'm lighter now. Now I feel better. Now I'm okay. Now I have room to actually feel some love because I just did some work. And I also am making room for new beliefs, right? So beliefs are the thoughts that we hold as absolute truth, is what Eckhart Tolle says in A New Earth. So, thinking about that, the thoughts that I hold as absolute truth.
Let's take a quick break, because that's a wonderful topic to move on to when we come back. So belief and truth, right? And the meaning we give things.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to pause for a short break. Stay with us. There's so much more powerful conversation to come, and we'll be right back.
The affiliated New Thought Network is pleased to present Deep Within, Mining Our Hidden Treasures, a hybrid spiritual retreat, October 6th through the 10th at Unity Village in Lee's Summit, Missouri, featuring our opening keynote address from Reverend Michelle Ezigwu, our Tuesday evening Raise the Roof experience with Reverend Dr. Martha Creek, special musical artist Ricky Byers. Wednesday features a morning keynote with Centers for Spiritual Living spiritual leader, Reverend Dr. Sonny Cantrell Smith, and evening keynotes from Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski and Reverend Tanya Beverly. Reverend Dr. Janine Burns rounds out our keynote speakers on Thursday morning. Visit www.antn.org for more details. Virtual and in-person registration is now available. We would love to see you there. ANTN, connecting the New Thought community through consciousness and love.
Welcome back to Having Courageous Conversations. We're here with Jules De okay, you say it. I said it in my head, and now I can't get it out. We're here with Jules, continuing our conversation about emotional intelligence and the power of belonging. So let's pick up where we left off. We started talking about belief systems, and you mentioned something that Eckhart Tolle said. Is it Tolle? I never know. But I love him too. He's also one of my best. So what did he say? And let's talk about belief and truth and the meaning we give things.
So the belief system is the thoughts, right? So they are the thoughts that we hold as absolute truth. Right. Those thoughts that we hold as absolute truth become our belief system. Mm-hmm. So if we're always listening consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously to all these thoughts in our minds, our body hears it, right? There's some level of us that is aware of this, chatter going on, and this becomes our belief system. And so this is where you can see somebody that looks very confident and looks like they have it all together, but on the inside, they have this droning belief that they are not enough and they are not worthy. So, this is how you can have like the polarity within that. It's because there's a belief system at work all the time. And so it's our job to sort through these beliefs, these thoughts, and say, wait a minute, do I actually believe that? Is that actually how I feel about this particular thing? And most of the time, it's an old thought. It's an old infrastructure, if you will, from when we were growing up and whatever that, was being built for us at that time. And so it just kind of like, we just roll with that and we keep building that house. And before we know it, we're like, wait a minute, I don't agree with anything in here anymore, and that's where we can have like the discord within ourselves. And we feel like that turbulence, of like, I just can't feel settled. So, and that's what I was going through, because I was changing. And so when I read Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, became aware of my thoughts, felt terrible once I heard my thoughts and thought, wait a minute, I have to change this. And then started taking that action of making the changes. And at the time I was going to a Unity church and, was filled with positive affirmations, affirmative prayer. So I had a positive community that I was a part of that was feeding me good stuff, thankfully. Right. So I was like throwing out the trash, receiving all the good. Right. And so within that, I also started to find this place where I thought, well, what do I do when I have feelings that aren't necessarily positive? Right? Like, what do I do with that? What do I do when the old patterns start to pattern? And what do I do? And I essentially had to create my own method to help guide me out of those big feelings.
Right. Wow. That's so interesting.
I have two things now to ask, but guide you out of though. And I want to go back to what you just said, but you're going to please remember what it was you just said. I was curious about your family and how you show up in the world as Jules, and you're presenting from your heart. How do the people around you respond to that? Your children, your husband. I know you and your husband work together in your miracle lab. So, like, what is the response to you being you?
Well, it's been beautiful. My siblings have been so supportive. I'm the baby, but it's really cool how they look at my work and say, wow, you're actually teaching me how to have boundaries. You're actually, little sis is teaching me how to do this work. And so that's really neat to get to share this that's in my heart. As far as my kids go, they love it. They love it because we're always talking about feelings. So what they get to see mama doing is mama being mama, you know, so there is no difference. So how I'm showing up with you all is how I show up with them in our camper, you know. So if I get upset in a moment of frustration, I speak that and I'll say, okay, guys, I'm feeling big feelings. I need to step out and I need to calm my body down and I'm going to come back. And so they understand how to do things when they feel upset, right? So if I mess up and I say something that I didn't really wish I said, I go back and I repair that because that's what really builds that connection. And they know that we belong together because I care about them so much that I say, hey, I shouldn't have said that thing. And I'm very sorry. And I will do this better. Or I should have had more patience with you in that moment because you deserve all the patience. And mamas do, you know, so I'll explain how I'm feeling in that moment. So they know that it's not them, it's me. And I own it, right? And so it's just really neat how they are understanding how you should not hold back your feelings and that in any space that you are, it's really important and always a number one thing for you to speak how you truly feel. So that's been a thing that is just like across the board. That's how we roll. And with the rest of my family, this is... it feels like I've always been me. I've always talked about feelings because I've always had feelings. You know what I mean? Like I was always like the tender heart. I was always the one who was like wanting to rescue the animals and like be friends with the kid that had no friends. Like I was always, you know, like just big hearted. And when I was born, my grandmother on my father's side, she was a missionary in Puerto Rico and she prophesied it over me that I was going to lead people to God. And I actually did not like that. It felt like way too much responsibility. When I was a kid, I was like, what do you mean? Do I have to be a nun? I didn't understand what that meant. So it feels like she knew something before it was happening, right? Like she got that memo, that universal note. And so as I continued to walk and grow into that, it just everybody seemed to feel like, oh yeah, of course, right? Like yeah, that's you. So it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Beautiful.
What was the second part?
question? Like, yeah, well, I don't remember now. I should have written it down.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
Thank you. Let it settle in.
Yeah. It's you know, to my method, I would like to touch on that a little bit because what's really important about emotional intelligence is not only becoming aware of what you're thinking and the story that you're telling yourself, but it's also really important to name what it is, name that feeling, and also to flip the script on that. Right. So like we were talking about, so if you have a thought and you identify it and you're like, wait a minute, that's like a low energy thought system right there. Like that is not helping me. Oh man, that is actually totally the opposite of how I feel and I believe. Then you have an opportunity to flip the script on it, right? And turn it into what you want to believe or what you do believe. And so that's a big part of it. And also having action. Moving your body, being able to move these feelings out of your body. It's very somatic, right? Like you've got to move. A lot of times we just want to sit and pray or meditate. And we actually need, because we have these bodies, right? So we have to move all of that stuff out. And so when I was looking at this process of what I do in those moments, I thought, oh, this is so funny how these A's keep lining up. And how it brings you all to healing, right? So the one A that I didn't mention is alignment. And that's where we can pray. Once the feelings are out of our bodies. Maybe we do in workshops. I love to do random dance parties. Cheryl and I have danced together. And once you dance and you move it, you actually feel better. And there's so much science behind that. So it brings you to that feeling better point, which is the H. And so my method is called the method. And it's what helped me in real time to feel better, because it's all these things like I can tell you, okay, be there. Yay, you got it. Yeah. So see, look, I have my hand on my heart because that's your pause button, right? It's your pause button. And you go, the joke is you go from to and that's what you really want to do in those moments where you feel flooded and you feel overwhelmed, or maybe you just got hit with embarrassment and that's a flood of feelings, right? Whatever it is. But knowing what to do next is the key, right? Knowing what to do next, which is just hit pause, like get to a place where you feel safe, get to a place. And that might be just with yourself, like in the bathroom, just to where you can go, whoa, oh my goodness, right? Maybe splash some water, maybe just look yourself in the eye, because that's a big part of it too, being there with yourself, right? And during that process, I realized, wow, there's a lot of talk of the work that we need to do, but how do we actually do this work that we keep talking about, right? How do we do these things? And not only do it, but keep practicing it and make it a consistent thing that we do. And so that was my offering to the world was, hey, I've got this method that I have been doing and it's helping me. It's helping me to be a caregiver to my mom, to take care of my kids and be a full-time homeschooling mom, to be in a business with my husband, right? Like all of these things that people a lot of times look at me and they're like, I don't know how you do all that. But it's because I want to and I love it. And so being able to tap into this kindness, but also the strength and resiliency to be able to show up the way I want to show up is what keeps me doing it.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that was a book that Jules wrote that both of them held up at the same time, and it's called the Aaaaah Miracle, right?
It's called Aaaaah Miracles. Yes, Aaaaah Miracles.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening. You know, love, any expression of love is a miracle. Sometimes we think that miracles are big, grand things, which they can be, but there's no order. A Course in Miracles says there's no order to miracles, right? There's no one better than the other. Every expression of love is a miracle. So every time that you turn within and you give yourself that kindness and that love, and you're there for yourself and you have that belonging, that is a miracle, right? Isn't that cool to think of it like that? And you're like, oh, I'm a miracle worker over here. Look at me. I am doing important work. Because don't we know though, that when you do that stuff, all of that reflects out, right? Like everything I do here reflects out. Everything I do here ripples out. Right. It all is such a big process. So it's like what I'm looking for out there, I have to do it in here because we're all mirrors.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, I was joking with a client the other day and she mentioned wanting to find her future spouse or future, you know, whoever. And I said, you know, instead of will you marry me, the question needs to be, will you mirror me? Because that's what marriage, just so you know, is all about. And that's really every relationship that we're in is that mirroring, right? And that's another level of being seen is what I see in you. Yeah. If I like it, I got it. If I don't like it, I got it too. So it's like, I've got to be able to be honest with that, right? The joke is like, if you spot it, you got it. And so, you know, and sometimes you need a process to help you through that realization that, oh, I like how when I came aware of my thoughts and I was like, I don't love that. It's like, okay, well, you can do something about that. Okay. And you can love yourself through it as you make the changes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you really have done the work.
Yeah. And it's not a graduation process where you get a diploma. You're like, oh, great, I did the work. It's like, again, I'm on this earth. On this earth. I am still doing it. I'm still doing the work. I just went through a period where it was a lot of transformation that I did not expect. It just recently ended this cycle. And when I counted the days on the calendar, I'm not even sure why I did that, but I counted the days of how long, because I knew exactly when it started and when it ended. And I got to the end of it and it was exactly 40 days. And I laughed out loud because I thought, man, this is 40 days. It felt like 40 days in the spiritual sense. And in the realm of just being here on the earth, it was 40 days, of just unexpected lifing. And that happens, and even if and I think that's the biggest part of doing the work, right? And being in practice is because this world is our spiritual gym and we have to keep our muscles nice and strong. So when life is lifing, we can still show up, like I just went through a really hard 40 days and I kept showing up. And I kept showing up and I was like, all right, and it's all right, here we are. We're still in this process. And at the end of it, I realized a lot of times going through stuff like that, you don't understand it, right? Sometimes you do get the gift of understanding it, right? Why it's happening. But this one in particular was just like, I just got to keep showing up and doing what I know is the next wise step. And at the end of it, I thought, oh, I was going through something was ending. It was like a completion. Okay, got it. And but I didn't have that clarity until the end of it. So I'm grateful for my own well-being and my family that every step of the way, we stuck in there together. We hung in there doing what we know to do and supporting each other and ourselves, through that process. Because there was times where, we had the loss of a pet, for example, and, we went through pet grief, but also with kids, so it was like a lot of unexpected things, some illness and, so it's just things of life, just things happen, the rogue waves. Even when you're like, I have done my work. And they're like, life's like, all right, you ready? Here we go. Bam! You're like,
especially when you say or think that, right?
Yeah, you're like, I'm good. Everything's so great right now. It's like, get ready.
Oh,
Get ready. You got it. But it makes a skilled sailor, right? Isn't that the term? It's like the rough waves make for a skilled sailor. And that's for sure. A skilled captain. So and that's it. You're stewarding this body that you're in, this life that you have to the best of your ability, and also finding the other people that you can come together and see yourselves in each other, hear their story, see your own story, and vice versa. It's just that sharing. It's that knowing that we are not alone as we do this. As life is lifing, someone else had their own situation, and this is what helped them get through it. And so I feel like that's another power of belonging, is knowing that we all belong to each other. And no matter what those individual beliefs are, at the bottom line of it, my belief is that we are all children of God, like, period, and some people forget it. They totally forget it. And some people don't want, they're like, no, not me. And it's like, well, you can't put a light out that you didn't ignite to begin with. So, and that's my job. I feel like here on this earth is to continue to recognize that light that's in everyone else, including in me too.
And that really we're one, we're connected, right?
Absolutely. It's the oneness. It's the oneness. Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
Did you have you mentioned twinkles before, your little ones coming in the background, and I'm going to use the word twinkle, not referring to your children. during those 40 days, did you have little twinkles that showed up? Like somebody did something for you, like held open a door for you, or did something that just got you through to the next moment that you were aware of? Anything in particular stand out?
Yeah.
Some little random act that.
Yes. There's, and I think that sometimes that's part of it, right? Like in those moments where you just feel like, when is this season going to be over? It brings you to the present. Like I just had to hang on to my blessings, and I kept coming back to those blessings, right? Like I kept coming back to, okay, this happened. This is great. So an in particular moment, during that time, the kids and I would maintain our after dinner walks, and we would see the sunset, because even when times are rough and you feel so exhausted by all the things that now you have to deal with, the sun still rises and the sun still sets, you know, and that's the reminder, you know. So Julian wrote a book called You Are the Sky. You are not your feelings. And as you're asking this question, and this moment came to me, it reminds me of that I kept having to, not even aware that I was doing this, remind myself that I was a sky, right? Like I had to go out and go see this beautiful sunset. I just had to, right? And if I was inside washing dishes or something, the kids would be like, Mama, come on. You know, they wouldn't let me miss it. And there was one day in particular, and this was 2 weeks after our beloved bunny suddenly passed away. Just didn't wake up one morning, which was heartbreaking for everybody because it was so sudden. We just didn't expect it. And there was this, probably the most epic rainbow I have ever seen in my life. I have never experienced a rainbow like this before. I mean, it just kept giving. It was like morphing and changing. And I just thought, wow, like this is just for my enjoyment. Like, just thank you for this, you know? And it just felt so personal for me, right? Like it was giving me life. And Julian looked at me and he said, do you think that was peanut butter saying hi because he crossed over the rainbow bridge? And I thought, you know, so it's just those moments where your kids show up and just speak delightful words, that just bring so much comfort to your heart and just remind you that what you're doing is important and you're showing up and, you know, all of those things. So that's a big moment that stands out. But those moments of trials and tribulation, you know, I like to say that we're in a garden and there's dirt and there are also flowers. So just, you got to look for the flowers, you know, and the times that you feel like you're just surrounded by dirt. And that's those moments. I just have to keep it like really basic. Like, what are your blessings? You know, I went to the grocery store and I'm like, yes, food. Yeah. You know, like little things. Yeah. Just the basics, like keep it really easy and simple.
Yeah, that's great insight, right? And that again is being kind to yourself. You know, it's not putting too much pressure on yourself, but it's also creating a better feeling and a better thought by doing that. But you're being gentle, you're gently doing that.
You got it. Because in my mind, in my spirit, I heard gentle and you said it. That's exactly what it is. And that is such a, you know, like sometimes love feels like love when it's gentle, right?
Absolutely.
You're just like, was so gentle how you were with me, or how that we are in a practice of being gentle, not only with ourselves, but each other. So like
Yeah.
in those moments where it's so hard and you could beat yourself up if you wanted to, right? You have free will, but instead you choose to be gentle and to be
Yeah.
kind and to be understanding and say, oh, girl, you are definitely having a season right here. But you know, you always get through the toughest seasons. You're still here, you know, just keep going. And sometimes you see a rainbow that just gives you hope on those
Yeah.
days where you feel like, oh, when is this cycle going to end? You know, when I was going through it, I didn't know it was going to last exactly 40 days. I mean, I guess it could have been like the average tribulation time is 40 days. You know, I wasn't thinking about it like that.
That's so interesting. Jules, I think your internet is starting to get a little tired, but I'm grateful that it's coming to the end of the show because it's only now. And really, we've just got a few minutes left. So if there's one thing you would like to say to anybody who's listening and watching, what would that be? What would you like to leave them with?
Before I answer, is my internet okay right now? Okay. Thank you.
The picture's a bit hazy, but yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I think the biggest takeaway is that you belong to you. You are your own beloved.
Mm-hmm.
There is a light inside of you that is the true you in that oneness, right? That we talked about, that love, that oneness, that connectedness. Just remember that belonging.
Yeah.
That's truly who you are. And when you embrace that, then you can share that love and that belongingness with those around you. But really that relationship with you is the relationship with the divine, as it is the relationship with everyone else around you. So it's all connected.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Jules. And what about you, Mark? Is there something that you're leaving with that's anything in particular that stood out?
One of the last lines was, love feels like love when it's gentle. I will take that one with me, as well as the beautiful smile and exchange.
Yeah. Well, it's just been a wonderful show. It's been jam-packed with such rich, good, nourishing information, right? And experience, because this isn't just information you're sharing, it's your experience. And so I'm really grateful for that as well. And I love the way you say lifing. and one of the things you said, and another friend of ours says, if you've still got a pulse, you've still got work to do.
That's right. That is so true.
Yeah. And it starts within you. You cannot change anyone. You cannot do anything to anyone, only to yourself. So that's where it begins, and that's where it comes out that you can be a better person for others.
Yes. You are a mirror and a reflector, and I encourage everyone to look in the mirror.
Beautiful.
As they say the things to themselves, because that mirror will keep you honest and it'll keep you true to yourself.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Jules, for being our wonderful guest today. Please send love to your beautiful family. And and we hope to see you again soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let me just say to everybody, like, subscribe, and share so that more people can hear this beautiful message that we got today. Just enjoy.
And love.
And love. enjoy, love,
And
kindness, gentleness, all those beautiful things, and joy, so much joy.
My
Thank you,
hands won't let
everyone.
me do it.
Bye.
Stay with us.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperlin Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Spiritual Center, Kitchener, Om Center for Spiritual Living, La Mesa, Satya Center, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for making New Thought Media Network a place to be. Please come be you. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.